Assalamu alaikum viewers. Today we have Professor Dr. Muhammad Khan, a renowned scholar of international relations. He will talk about Kashmir on important topic. So Professor Dr. Muhammad Khan Saab, we welcome you in our vlog.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Afridi.
Sir, India has brought changes in domicile laws of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. How do you see its impact on this conflict, and what is the future? How it can change the demography of occupied Jammu and Kashmir, sir?
Thank you very much, Dr. Afridi. This is indeed very alarming, and this has been done very recently. I would say that it was this adoption was announced on 1st of April 2020, and this is consequent to what India has done in August 2019 in the form of Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, where India indeed downgraded and relegated the status of statehood of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir to make it a union territory. I mean, the two union territories, one which includes Jammu and the Vale of Kashmir, and another is basically the Ladakh area. By making changes, and that too drastic changes as far as the domicile laws of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir are concerned, India, as a matter of fact, intends bringing demographic changes in particularly the valley area of the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Let me say that all India wanted to achieve for decades and decades, that how to get an ingress where the non-Kashmiris, particularly the Hindu population from the various parts of India, to be moved, shifted, transferred, and rehabilitated in various parts of the Jammu and Kashmir. In this regard, let me tell you that starting from 1947, India made massive changes in the Jammu province of the occupied state of Jammu and Kashmir. And regarding the Jammu province, I must tell you that as per the 1941 census, the Muslim population was more than 62%. But today, in 2017, the last census which were held under the Indian occupation in the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the Muslim population in the Jammu province is less than 33%, which I would say that almost half population has been reduced in the Jammu province. And this was done through a very well-planned strategy that Muslims from various parts of the Jammu, they were moved out to Pakistan, they were moved out to elsewhere in Azad Jammu and Kashmir, they were moved out in some of the, you can say that in the form of international diaspora and all that. And what their ancestral places were, those were indeed available for all those non-Kashmiris, particularly the Hindus, those who moved from the various parts of India. Today, since the valley part of the Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian occupied portion, that had the overwhelming Muslim majority, thus India could not dare to change the demography of that area. Therefore, it first tried to, rather I would say that India made sure that it downgraded the state, it divided the state in parts, it imposed the curfew, and that curfew is still continuing starting from August 5, 2019. And no, while the people are inside, the people of the Indian occupied Kashmir, they are locked down inside, India has changed the domicile laws of the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And this is a very funny, I would say that the change is very funny, unique in the world, which has never been seen ever, the human history is recorded. It says that anybody who has been in the Indian occupied Kashmir for more than 15 years, he or she gets the credit of getting the nationality of the Jammu and Kashmir. And you know that Indian military people, the Indian bureaucracy, those who are ruling the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, they are there for the decades, not only the 15 years. And then another funny class is that the people, the students, those who have passed their matriculation as well as the higher secondary education, and they also deserve the nationality. And then their offspring, I would say that this is a series So what India is now doing in the Indian occupied Kashmir, particularly the valley area, that 4 strategies have been worked out, and those strategies are being implemented today by the Indian government, and those are making number one, making the scenic colonies. I mean, the colonies for the military personnel, those who have served in the Indian occupied Kashmir, and upon their retirement, they would be rehabilitated in those colonies, the scenic colonies, and these are being made in various parts of the valley at strategic locations in order to make the demographic changes where the Muslim population is in bulk. Number two, India has planned that all those Hindus, those who have moved in 1947 from the West Pakistan, they have to be rehabilitated in the valley area of the occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And today they are in millions. They are not in lakhs, but they are in the millions. And then they have generations and generations for that matter. And I have been monitoring this post-domicile change process, that not hundred, not thousand, but the millions of the people, they are in line. Rather, their documents have already been prepared for getting the nationality of the Jammu and Kashmir, and they will be soon moved to various parts of the valley in order to be rehabilitated there, and they will be doing it while there is a clampdown in the Indian occupied Kashmir, because Kashmiris, they cannot come out, they cannot protest openly. Thus, India got a chance to do all this, to implement this strategy also. Third is, it is a return of the Pandits. Though the Pandits are really the legitimate honor, they have to go back, but they have to go back to their ancestral places from where they have migrated. Today, India has allotted 17,000 canals of the land for rehabilitating Pandits, and in the garb of the Pandits, so many others at strategic locations for making demography in the respective constituencies for the election purposes, or later maybe if there is a provision or there is an opportunity that there is a sort of a plebiscite, and India would say, no, it is all ready. And the fourth is indeed, India is making allotments of the land for the Hindu shrines which are located in the Indian occupied Kashmir. And those Hindu shrines, particularly Shri Amarnath Shrine, which is 65 kilometers north of the Srinagar, where that has traditionally been manned by the Muslims to serve the Hindus, but now around 8,000 canal of the land has already been allotted, and the Hindus from various parts of the India, now they are going to be moved into that area, that jungle land, and they will be then making the demographic changes overall that is going to be impacting the Muslim population of the valley area. Since Jammu has already been done, the valley will be done. And let me share with you, very recently, Subramanian Swamy, as a matter of fact, a BJP lawmaker, he was very vocal that we will not let the Muslim population in any even indigenous states of the India more than 30%. And for the Kashmir and Jammu province, they have already made it around 30% or 32%. And in the valley, they are trying to make it or bring it down to the 30 or 35%, which means that all is planned, it is being implemented. But let me tell you that we here in the Pakistan, the government of the Pakistan, the state of the Pakistan, and the people of Kashmir, we are standing legally at a very high ground. And that high ground means that 4th Geneva Convention, particularly Article 49 of the 4th Geneva Convention, it prohibits India or any occupying power to make the demographic changes in that area. And for that, there is a very clear provisions in Article 49(6) that in any occupying power cannot transfer or the shift its population to the area it is occupying. And by any definition, the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir is an occupied area since 1947, and it was reoccupied after it imposed the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act on 31st October 2019. Pakistan must move to International Court of Justice. Pakistan should get back to United Nations Organization, because there are two very pertinent resolutions which prohibits any occupying power or even that state assembly or the legislature that they cannot indeed decide the future of that state. So under the provisions of Geneva Convention, 4th Geneva Convention, of 1949 under the provision of United Nations Security Council resolutions and so many other resolutions which are indeed asking India, asking international community and asking United Nations organization to give the Kashmiris their right of self-determination through a free, fair and impartial plebiscite. And that we have to pursue now, because after all, we have to get back to these international organizations in order to get for the Kashmiris their due right for which they are waiting since 1947.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
Dear viewers, Professor Dr. Muhammad Khan very comprehensively talked on the conflict of Kashmir, especially with the changes in demographic laws by India. He also talked about the United Nations role, the Security Council resolutions, and also the Fourth Geneva Conventions, its relevance with the Kashmir conflict, and how India is violating all these international norms. We will come with new important topics, inshallah. Stay in touch. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz and goodbye.
Thank you.